get your ticket online, and then the address is 21940 Griffin Road, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So guys, come on, first of all, please like, comment, share, and subscribe for my channel, guys, and then I will tour you around. Okay, God bless, and thank you for supporting my channel.
Trust me, girl, I'm not. What are you laughing at? Yes, dear, no, dear, you're right, I'm wrong. Here's my wallet, you look good at everything.
There you go.
Flowers every 2 weeks from the florist, not the supermarket, you cheapskate. 5 good vacations a year, not some smelly alligator pit before a watermelon during a pandemic. Come on, son, up your game. It's all right, girl, you're going to Fiji next week. A little bit of bling from time to time. If all else fails, I buy you a puppy. I walk it, I bathe it, I feed it. I clean up after it, I train it, but somehow it's yours. You just cuddle it, put pictures on Instagram. Pretty close?
Yeah.
Yeah, how much you accept it? No questions? None of the annoying questions they ask all the time, like, why don't they attack you? Always sound disappointed, too. Like, that's why you can't. Well, my favorite one is, how come they're not moving as everyone sits there motionless in their own seats? All these kids are no questions. When has that ever happened before? That's like one of the 7 signs of the apocalypse.
Wait till ice cream's gone.
Kill us all in about 5 minutes. Which will feel like a warm embrace after this past year. All right, how was the airboat ride?
Good.
All right, well, this will be a disappointment for you. Has it been already? You wrestle. Trying to get me killed. You look for the insurance company? All right, before we get started, I do want to explain a few things about these alligators I use in my gator shows. All the gators you see in this pit are what's known as nuisance alligators, especially you. That means they all came out of somebody's backyard, pond, canal, swimming pool, came off a golf course, ate the neighbor's dog, something like that. If you have a nuisance alligator, a trapper is usually called out, hopefully for you and your pets, who catches, removes the alligator. Doesn't matter if that alligator is 3 feet or 13 feet. It takes them 5 minutes or 5 weeks. They charge you the same price every time, and that price is nothing. Alligator raccoon in the attic, about $400. It's an 11-foot alligator in the backyard killing grandma, but don't worry, it's free. Alligator, too many grandmas in here? That's the first time that joke bombed in 20 years. This is going to be a long show. Alligator removal is free because the alligator itself is the payment. The trapper gets to keep that alligator, which he would then take to a processing plant where they will kill it, and he then gets paid for the valuable meat and hide. That's where you get alligator boots, belts, handbags, wallets, all that kind of stuff. The state of Florida kills about 8,000 nuisance alligators every single year, and mainly just because they swim through your backyard canal a few times. The state of Florida also pretty smart. They save a tremendous amount of money, but more importantly for them, they save the liability.
You're blocking other people want to see.
A trapper, just let them keep and harvest the animal. That way, every time a trapper's arm gets ripped off, there's no workers' compensation to worry about, no disability. They just scratch some name off a list and get a new trapper. Now, the lucky ones, alligators that is, I will buy off those trappers, or I trap myself. I am a licensed trapper here in the state of Florida. And yes, that was my mother's dream for me. The day that I was born in Massachusetts. Or probably not. One of the very few, if not the only, committed non-kill trapper in the whole state. Not too many non-kill trappers in the state because, quite frankly, not many people are dumb enough to work 30 to 60 hours a week for free. Especially trying to save an animal that would love to rip your face off the first time you meet them. Now, when I get a gator, they will generally come here overnight and then get relocated to a wildlife sanctuary down in Homestead. They can never truly go back to the wild. Any nuisance alligator that exceeds 4 feet in length, according to Florida State law, must be kept in captivity or be destroyed. Only 2 options. They tried to relocate these guys in the wild years ago, way back when they were endangered. Back then, if a gator raped a dog, they put them 50 miles out. Gator wrestling really is the old Seminole Indian capture techniques mimicked in a pit like this with a few stunts thrown in. Now, for those of you that may be familiar with a television show I had on Animal Planet called Gator Boys, or any one of the crocodile documentaries I filmed over the years, you may notice a different reaction between the gators and crocs you may see me catch on television and the gators you see in this pit. If I get this close to a wild alligator or crocodile, it's going to do one of 2 things.
Fighting?
I guarantee you neither of which is this. He's going to either A, make some huge explosive moves to attack me, but that's not a self-defense. That's him thinking I'm the threat, I'm the predator. But more than likely, for that same reason, he'll make an equally explosive move in order to escape. Either way, there'll be some massive explosion of energy.
Other people want to see you. Get over here and sit down. Get over here and sit down.
There it is. All right, these guys don't do a whole lot of that stuff. They don't do that because almost every gator in this pit has been here long enough to realize that I am not going to hurt them. Once that kind of settles in, there is no real motivation to make these huge explosive movements they're so famous for. Every time you see a wild alligator, or crocodile for that matter, making those explosive movements, that is absolutely exhausting for the animal. These guys are ectothermic or cold-blooded. They really only have a handful of those moves before their bodies begin to build up with lactic acid, and eventually they can barely move. So if these guys all know that the worst possible outcome that could ever happen is me sitting on the back over here for like 10 minutes, telling some really bad jokes. It is not worth fighting me all out for the next 15 minutes, then being totally exhausted for the next hour or two, while that lactic acid slowly remetabolizes. It's just not worth the trade-off. If there's one thing they're good at, besides ruining my life, it's conserving energy. You look at a good-sized gator, like Zeus or Darth Gator, Ajax, McLovin, Sebastian, Hector, Mr. Fahrenheit. These guys can easily go 4 or 5 months with no food at all.
Wow.
This is what they do for a living, and they're really, really good at it. That doesn't mean they love me and we're friends, but we take windy walks together at night. Trust me, Fahrenheit doesn't love me. Not like he used to. Well, I still remember a time when you and I would we used to sit and we would talk for hours. Lately, I kind of feel like we don't even communicate. Look, even then, I'm trying to reach out to you with No, I can't fix it.
Stand on it.
Please say something. I'm giving up on you. No, you know what the really sad part is? Sad part is I have these conversations with Fahrenheit when nobody else is even here. Now again, they don't like me. They obviously don't really dislike me. This is a lot like my parents' house around Christmas time. Everybody just kind of tolerates me because they feel obligated. Now I do have a certain rotation system I use to try to make sure each gator only does 1 show a day. It's actually Godzilla's show. I don't know how I'm getting them over here. Not dragging them through this. You're really feel like going through there, but I think that's our best way. Excuse me, children. Come on, Joel, showtime. Come on, buddy. Excuse me, son. Come on, you gotta do a show. Let's go. Come on, let's go. Where do you want to go? You want to go up the middle or you want to go round the outside? Round the outside? Round the outside. Let's go up the middle. It's that way. It goes that way, son. There you go. I could be killed at any moment. No, there could be a lightning strike or a meteorite, maybe a plane crash. Listen, a disgruntled postal worker could barge in. Anything can happen. No postal workers here. Come on. Come on, knucklehead. Come on, let's go. As you can see, Godzilla's thrilled to do the show.
Whitney,
Hey,
please
want to
sit
tell you
down.
this, but I have a whole plate of Girl Scout cookies with your name on it. Hey, I make them with the real Girl Scouts in them. Oh, please. Don't feel bad for those kids. They come to my house peddling shortbread cookies, and I knew there were Thin Mints in the trunk. I think we can all agree there should only be 2 kinds of Girl Scout cookies. Thin Mints and Samoas, that's it. Take those tag-alongs and do-si-do-si in my mouth, big kid.
It's falling his tail.
And the box of Thin Mints is still mismarked. That's not a joke. I've been writing letters for 20 years. Next time you get a box of Thin Mints, look at it. It says something ridiculous like 8 servings. On what planet? There's 2 servings tops. One sleeve and the other if you're on a hunger strike and you feel like sharing. But if you're home alone and that box is in the freezer, who are you kidding? That whole box is 1 serving. Debo, get out of the way, son. Now listen, I'm going to be honest, okay?
Yeah.
This gator's been dead for 2 weeks. Hey, until he starts to stink, I'm going to keep using him. Come on, go to your spot. Slow down, you pull a hamstring. Straighten it out, son. Just need 4 percent.
Oh, nice.
Morley is cheetah. Now, if you're a Seminole warrior, let's say back in the 1800s, and you're out catching alligators, you're doing that to feed your family. But you always wanted to catch them alive. Alligator meat spoils very quickly in the hot Florida sun. The first thing you'd want to do, obviously, is tie the jaws shut. A gator this size, about 2,000 pounds of crushing power per square inch of the jaws. It's enough to crush any bone in your body. Tying the jaws by yourself can be a little challenging. You do need 2 hands to tie a good knot. Something has to hold that mouth closed while you're doing it, or you risk losing your fingers in the process. So the Seminoles came up with a technique they now refer to as bulldogging, holding the jaws closed with your chin in your chest. It'll free your hands up, give you time to take out leather or rope and tie a knot. If you want to take a picture with both arms go out to the side, or you see the blood pouring down my throat. Usually where I tell the kids to just stay in school. Come here, boys. Look at that nose.
I go to school in 3 weeks.
All right, Fahrenheit, maybe you should do it. I don't really get out much. Uh-oh, the dogs are wearing off. I don't know what to do. Come on, you got to do one show every long. You know, if you tried to bite me, you could look exciting. It's like I'm trying to keep a dog in a bathtub. Listen, hey, if you slap me in the butt with that tail, you're going to buy me dinner and tell me you love me first. I'm not approving. But if you're going to smack me, I expect a little romance first. Okay? Otherwise, you just feel cheap. We've got off the... Okay, take your pictures quickly, please. Take out a couple of wraps, you tie them up, and you have yourself a cotton tie.
Yeah, nice.
Now, judging by the complete lack of applause, I'm assuming you people are not really impressed with being around here. That's very touching. That was very touching. Really nothing better for my ego than pity applause. If you're looking for me after the show, I'll be checking into therapy. I will try to redeem myself in a minute or two. In the meantime, we're going to touch on a few different parts of the alligator's anatomy. The eyes of an alligator are very well protected, very deep eye sockets. Anything with a threat in those eyes, they just drop to the bottom of the eye sockets out of the way of harm. Threat is removed, they pop right back into place. Bony, leathery eyelids come down to help protect them. Lower eyelids like you and I have. He also has that third eyelid called a nictitating membrane. Nictitating membrane, no transparent lens. You may just see move from front to back, then back to front. That acts to clean dust and debris away from the eyes. It also kind of acts as a pair of goggles for the alligator in the water. Behind the eyes, alligator's ears, these little flaps right here. Even with these small ears, they still hear just about as well as you and I on land. They also hear very well under the water. And if he does this fast enough, he can actually fly. Not with me in his back, of course, that would be crazy. But if that worked, I promise you, I would fly everywhere. They don't link it out. Between the ears, behind the eyes, located about there, alligator's brain. Alligator's brain's about the size of my thumb. They say there's only one animal in the entire world that has a smaller brain to body size ratio. That, of course, is the alligator wrestler. I still don't get that joke. I'm going to figure it out, though.
You'll have him get his time to get you off of him.
He's going nowhere. That's what he's doing. Now, the bony plates that you see all over that back, they're called scutes. They're solid bone osteoderms. They do two things to the alligator. Number one, it is armor plated. Protects them from predators, known alligators, from territorial and mating disputes. It also acts as a solar panel. When it's cold, these guys will lay out in the sun with that dark black skin. The sun beats down, heats up that skin, and those scutes are all covered in little blood vessels. So that blood will heat up, circulate through the body, increasing the energy and metabolism. You'll notice I said the skin was black and not green. Because almost every sign, almost every t-shirt, cartoon, drawing, stuffed animal, rubber toy, high school, college mascot, you've ever seen of an alligator, it's almost always green. I'm not too smart, but that's not green, that's black. Now, what separates alligator wrestling from alligator capture, of course, dangerous stunts, doing a couple of foolish things, like we'll do right now. First trick is called the Florida Smile, which is simply opening the alligator's mouth if he lets me. He's got 40 teeth on top and 40 teeth on the bottom. If you look in the back of the throat, it appears he has little to no throat opening. He's got an oversized palatal valve or glottis, which allows him to go in the water, capture food without drowning. He would usually then surface above the water to swallow that food. He likes to make it look dangerous sometimes. It's a bit of a show. You do realize without me, you'd be in a suitcase, right? Let's just follow the script, okay? Listen, we're pretty much 0 for 2 on applause right now. This is not represent our testimony.
We can hear you.
Yes, more pity applause. We'll both be proudly after this one. All right, last trick we're going to do is what's called a face-off, because if by chance I do mess up, yeah. And this will also going to show you exactly what a bachelor's degree in psych.
It's like this suit tie.
Listen, hey, the suitcase thing can still happen. I make one phone call, you're full of zippers. I can have you in checked baggage by next Thursday. That's a joke, you know I love you. Stop messing around. Come on, you gotta do one show. Yeah, I bring a bucket of chicken in here, you run a 4-5-40. Or sit still for 1 second, do a show. Don't forget about the Girl Scout cookies. This smells amazing. I don't know. Hey, I
Wow.
promise. That was for Godzilla too. Hey, I like the way you walk, girl. Hey, $50 because you don't make the water. You didn't even make the end of the joke. It's amazing how fast they were listening. See, now you can really appreciate why you have to run zigzag. Yeah, otherwise they would never catch you. They started that whole thing. You ever heard that? Just an alligator run zigzag? That's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my entire life. And that is not your fault. They've been pushing that on students and tourists down here for like 50 years. Listen, don't run zigzag, just run. I mean, if you're going to do anything, you trip the kids and you walk away with dignity. Not your own kids if you can help it. But, hey, if it comes down to it, though, come on, man. They're smaller and faster than we are. They got a much better chance. Especially on vacation. Look, that kid's so hopped up on Mountain Dew and Skittles like that gator has no chance. That kid will be doing that reverse matrix flip where he's running upside down. Gator's like, no, he's on Skittles. It'll be time for that. All right, guys. With that is the end of the show. Again, anything but the basket down there does go to help save more of these beautiful alligators, just like Godzilla. Always do appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for coming. Guys, if you have any questions at all, feel free to Google it. That's comedy, so that's joking the whole show. You feel free to use that yourself. When you do head out to my right, your left, you circle around the back. If you want to stop at a photo booth to hold the baby alligator, that's that white tent behind you. If you get wet, that's just Gatorade. If you get brown, that's called poo. That's an industry term. That means feces. Duty, caca, crapola, scat. Listen. They don't eat once a week, they only poop once a week. Odds are in their favor.